Today we get to visit the Kitchener-Waterloo Weavers and Spinners Guild. I'm really excited about this one. If you don't belong to a weaving guild, you should really think about joining. I don't know if they're all over the world, although I suspect they are, but they're definitely all over North America. In fact, I belong to a few, one of which is an international group. It's called Complex Weavers. Anyways, they all are set up a little bit differently, but it's very similar. So what I think I'm going to do is visit a few weaving guilds, as many as I can, actually. I think it's really interesting to see how they're set up, what kind of things you get out of a guild. I think belonging to a guild is really important, and I think you're going to see why today. You're going to recognize a familiar face. Today we have Gladys Sinclair. We did a tour at her home studio just a little while ago. If you haven't caught that, I'll link it up here. Be sure to watch it. Her studio is so nice. Anyways, Gladys is fabulous. She gave us a wonderful tour of her local guild there, and I can't wait for you to see it. All right, let's check it out.
Okay, welcome to the Kitchener-Waterloo Spinners and Weavers Guild. We're a guild right now of about 45 members. Pre-COVID, we had closer to 60 members, but like everyone else, COVID was quite a challenge to get through. We actually had to close the guild for a few months, and we're just now getting back to in-person meetings and running programs again. So I'm quite sure it won't be long before our membership rises again. We're a very active guild here. It's not often that you come down to this guild and don't see one or two people working on the looms or on the warping mills. We've been a guild since 1948, so next year we'll be celebrating our 75th anniversary. We've had many homes over the years. Our last home was a classroom in a public school, and we literally were bursting at the seams from there. So we set up a committee, and they found us this wonderful spot. It's actually part of a synagogue that they weren't using fully, and we love the extra space, and I'm sure they love the rental income as well. This is the door we come and go by. The parking lot is just outside the door, so easy pack in and take out. We have our own security system, and we have a center here that lots of messages can be left for one another, and pickups and things coming off the looms that need to be picked up and all labeled, a place for coats and boots. So this works well as a communication center, and a book that we sign in and out of, sign in when we come in and sign out of when we leave. So we actually have two rooms here. So this is the larger of the two rooms, and where we have most of our looms here, and we have quite a assortment of looms. We have one 16 harness loom, we have 4 12 harness looms, and one of them being a small David loom here. And the rest are a mixture. There are 4 harness, but a mixture of counterbalance and jack looms. And members rent these out on a monthly basis to do projects that they're interested in doing. And we usually try to keep 2 or 3 free, because we have a wonderful projects committee, and they are always coming up with ideas for projects for the guild members. They'll put out some information on what they're planning to do. Members sign up that they're interested, and then they divvy up the chores. So someone does the warp, someone else does the winding on and the threading, and then they use Sign Up Genius to sign up for their weaving times. We have a folding loom as well that is portable, and we often are out a number of times during the year to do demonstrations in the community. So it's great to take with us and demonstrate weaving, and lots of room for all of our reeds and rattles and sticks. So as we're moving up the room, we have tucked in the back, well, behind our television, which we can use for showing DVDs and for doing PowerPoint presentations, we have a 120-inch loom, which doesn't get used a lot, but every once in a while a couple of the members will get together and thread it and weave off 1 or 2 blankets. And then we have a center here that they can wind the bobbins and then move on to our library. We have a great collection of all the back issues of spin-off and hand-woven and fly that members can either sit in the chairs here and read or take home, sign out, and a great selection of books as well that they can sign out and take home and enjoy. And then we have a cabinet that holds all of the paraphernalia you could ever want when you're putting on a warp. So there's pins and tape measures and shuttles and bobbins and scissors and pins, and if you need it, it's probably here somewhere. And then we have a couple of warping mills that are put to good use. And just before we leave this room, the wall hanging at the back was actually a felting workshop that the members took a number of years ago, and the focus was on felting a piece that represented each province of Canada. So it was too nice to not do something with, so we mounted it and used it as a wall hanging. And this is a coverlet that the Guild wove back in 2008. So it's nice to have it up. And the one at the back is a double weave, and I'm not sure who did it, but it was a Guild member from the past who then donated it to the Guild. I think it's a wonderful piece to have on the wall. Sampler that we wove in memory of one of our Guild members who passed away a few years ago. So we have that to remember Jim by. So moving out here, down the hall, there were actually, when we moved in, 2 washrooms, one for the gents and one for the ladies. And we kept the ladies, but the gents has been used more for storage. So for our sales prop and all the cleaning supplies and cleaning equipment and just archives and whatever needs a home. And then because a lot of our members come from quite a distance, when they come, they're often here for 2 or 3 or more hours or spend the day here. So we have a microwave, we have a fridge, coffee maker, tea kettle, and then they can buy snacks and water here to keep their energy levels up while they're here. Here is our classroom. And teaching is one of the big mandates of our Guild, and we run both beginning and intermediate spinning and weaving classes throughout the year. And there's often a waiting list to get onto those classes. We have 6 4-harness looms in here that the beginners use, and again a mixture of jack and counterbalance for them to get used to. All the warping mills on the walls for them to use. And then we also have 6 spinning wheels that all have their own cases and hang, so that beginning spinners can use those as well. And then again, when they're not being used in the classes, our members are welcome to take them out and rent them on a monthly basis. We have a number of table looms, and then behind the door we've got a number of odds and ends carders and mules for the wool, knitting knotties, holding lots of yarn too that probably will be used as projects at some point. And we have a beautiful cabinet at the back that one of the members donated when she moved out of the area, and it's been great to be able to store all of the supplies that the projects committee can use when they're planning their projects. So again, nice to have lots of storage. And then we also have a serger that and bobbin winder. So the serger, when the items come off, they can just take it to the serger and serge the ends so they don't unravel on their way home. Okay, so I said before that we have an active Guild. We have monthly meetings, except during the 2 summer months, and they're the first Wednesday of the month. And we have a very strong spinning part of our group, and they meet on the 3rd Wednesday of the month for spin and chat. So they bring their spinning wheels and spin. Some just bring some handwork to be done, and some just come for the chat. We have 2 major sales each year, one in the spring and one in the fall, that amazing quality and items that our Guild members bring to that. And we have quite a reputation for our tea towels, so a lot of people follow us with our tea towels and come and stock up for tea towels for the next few months. Usually in February we have an auction sale, so all of those pieces of equipment and fibers that you're not quite so in love with now is when you bought them, they come and they get auctioned off and they go home with other treasures that they found to fill up the space with. So it's the members that come and really get involved in the Guild that really benefit from the Guild. They get joining committees, they really get to meet other Guild members and just be able to share in the wealth of information that all of our members have and are so willing to share with each other. And if anyone is in this area, they're welcome to come and join us for a meeting. Again, it's the first Wednesday of the month. If they're out of the area and you're interested in spinning and weaving, go online and find a guild that I'm sure would welcome you and love to teach you and get you started in the weaving or spinning process. And if you're not close to one of those areas, just maybe you need to find some friends and get together and form your own group and just challenge each other and explore some things that you probably wouldn't do yourself. So that's our guild.
So how often are you running classes here? I think you touched on this earlier.
It varies. It depends on the demand. So when we are doing the spring and fall shows, we have an area set up that people become aware that we are giving those classes, and people will often sign up then. So I would say we probably run a couple of each classes each year. And again, there's often a waiting list for them. And sometimes we have to wait on the class until we can get enough members to fill it.
So tell me a bit more about the inner workings of the guild.
So we meet once a month, but we also have a number of committees within the guild that are meeting on their own. So we have a projects committee that I talked a bit about before that are planning projects for the members. We have a sales committee that plan the sales and run them. We have a program committee that's always on the lookout for new ideas for meetings. We have a computer committee that looks after our tech problems that we might have, or just updating our websites. We have a library committee, we have a housekeeping committee, we have a committee that looks after the looms as well. We have a demonstration committee, and I'm sure I've missed some as well, an archives committee. And those, again, may only meet once or twice a year, or they may meet more often than that. During COVID, we actually set up and ran an online store for a year, and that was a major achievement that took some work, but worked out well. Okay, so we've gone now to having a board of directors, and within that we have an acting president and secretary and treasurer. Usually the meetings, they start at 7. Again, in this new format, we're not required to have a business meeting, but we probably will, for 15 or 20 minutes, have a business meeting and get financial reports and reports from many of the committees. And then we have a program that hopefully lasts an hour, perhaps an hour and a half. And then we always have a show and tell, so people are encouraged to bring what they're working on, what they've completed, or recently, or even something from the past, just to show the other members. So the meetings are usually well over by 9 or 9:30.
I hope you got some value out of that studio tour today. Well, the guild tour, really. We did have some technical difficulties. I hope it came out nice and smooth for you, though. Anyways, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this one, you'll probably like this one or this one. I'll meet you there. Bye for now.